Welcome back to Two-Face Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Fred Segura. Tonight I want to talk about a subject about standing up for somebody, like say for example, blood thicker than water. I'm going to stand by this person, and no matter what happens, I'm going to have their back. Okay. My question is, what if you know, and it's pretty transparent, that they're dead wrong? I'm going to question this part. Are you really helping them? Are you really helping that relative of yours? Or are you just making an excuse for them to continue to live the way they're living? Maybe it's been going on since, let's just say these relatives are older now, but it's been happening since they went to school. Because the parents were the ones that always went to school and be like, well, not my child. We don't do that. And and every time throughout this person's life, it's always been an excuse. To where this person continues to push issues and get him or herself into situations. Oh, blood's thicker than water. Well, to an extent. Because I tend to say it like this. I love somebody that much that I'm going to tell them they're wrong. I've had friends in bad situations where I've told them straight up, some foul stuff, and they've come back to me and said, man, that was messed up. But you know what? I'd rather have you hear it from me than from somebody else. Because maybe you're not seeing it from the outside looking in. You're too focused on what you're doing. You're not realizing how it's looking from this side. Am I wrong? Am I, oh, dude, you're messed up, bro. That's not even cool. Or am I being a real friend? Because I truly love this person and I want to see them succeed rather than to fail. I'm not going to stand there and lie for them. That includes my children. I'm not going to stand there and lie for them. Because I'll be doing more harm than I am doing good. I could sit here and preach positivity all day. Go on social media. Oh, I'm being positive and da-da-da. But deep down inside, I'm also grudgeful. Hateful for whatever reason. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make them feel like, oh, well, I'm going to continue to cover their tail every time they mess up. Not just, for example, not just with my own kids, not just in school, but at home, it starts that way. In school, even more so. Because I've had my kids be in a situation at school to where they've lost a privilege to something that they really wanted to do, but because they got in trouble, they lost that privilege. Right? So now they see that there's consequences to their wrongdoing. It's not just at home. It's in the real world. Right? It didn't happen just at home. It happens at school too. It happens everywhere. I also teach my kids not to be bullies to anybody because they seem weaker. Not to bunch up on somebody because, hey, you got your friends and you think you're cool and you think you're going to pick on this person because you don't like them. Not to be bullies. But at the same time, I also teach them not to allow themselves to get bullied. Right? So if the shoe's on the other foot and somebody else gangs up on them, or one person comes up on them, try to come up on them like Will Smith to Chris Rock, I expect my child to defend themselves and end it fast. Is it wrong? Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it is. It is. But unfortunately, guys, it's a reality. It's a reality that we face. I'd like to think in a perfect world, hey, not around me. That's not how we live our life. That's not in my household. Well, you know what? The world's a very big place. And things are bound to happen. You know, I've gotten to see a child pick on another child, right? I've seen this happen. I'm not talking in school. I'm talking in the street. This kid continued to bully this other kid, right? And there's a saying in Spanish that goes something to the effect of like, the brave is going to continue to be brave until the coward tires of it. Meaning, until, he's going to continue to get bullied until he stands up for himself. He or she, whichever way it goes. Okay? So I saw this kid bully this other kid for weeks. You know what the very sad thing about it was? That the bully started hitting what we will call the weaker kid. Right? But as soon as the weaker kid swung and hit him, caught him off guard, and just started wailing on him, the parents rushed out of the back super fast behind the fence. They were watching. And it was fine. They were fine with it until their son started getting his hands put on them. That's sad. And when they picked him up and he was still swinging in the air, he could not believe that this kid hit him. He was enraged, and I could see it in his face. Like, he was like, there's no way this could happen. I got hit. He beat me up, and he was still trying to swing as they carried him away. With legs kicking, arms swinging, and everything. He was screaming. He couldn't believe the weaker kid beat him up. But this is what happens. Now, in a situation, say for example, it happens to somebody in my family, I want to know how it got to that point. I'm not just going to throw in the towel and say my child's innocent or my child this and that. No. I'm going to be very, very neutral about it. But I'm also going to question, how did it get to this point? Is my son or daughter being a bully? Or is he and she simply defending themselves against a bully? It can go both ways, guys. It can go both ways. This bullying thing, we've gone into not only cyberbullying, there's just different ways and different methods of bullying somebody. Some people walk around like, oh, I have it all the world, and they want everybody, they look down on people like, yeah, look at me. And they want to act like, yeah, like you owe them something. That's the world we live in today. Thinking that somebody really cares about about them. Like their world revolves around this other person's world. That person don't care. As far as even myself, for that matter, if I see something like that, I don't care. That's you know what it shows me? You can have everything. You can be this and this and that, whatever you may be. It can look great. But you know what I see? I see a miserable person. And misery loves company. It's pretty pathetic. At least in my book it is. I'm not that kind of guy to stand there and, you know, uh, stand behind somebody if I know they're in the wrong. I've done it before with my own children in school. When they're wrong, they're wrong. I'd rather have them face a consequence at school, which also again teaches them that it's not just at home that they deal with consequences, it's in the real world. But I'd rather much have them learning at home, at school, and continue to reinforce that in school on how to behave and how to act around people. Because guess what? You may go to the school and guess what? Maybe your attitude, these other kids ain't going to have it. Whatever the situation is, I'd rather much better deal with it at school than to deal with it later on in life in court when they're facing jail time or worse. This way they learn. And again, that's not taking away from learning at home, because morals start at home. School simply is education. Morals start at home. You don't use the school system or blame the school system because you didn't discipline your child at home. You have to take care of that at home, not the school. The school's going to reinforce that if they do something wrong. With that being said, I'm not going to show up to the school and be like, not my child. No, that's not the way it works. Knowing darn well that my child's in the wrong. You know. With that being said, guys, I mean, this will be a very short one. I just thought I'd have to, express it this way. There's so much more we can get into, so much more details. I will just start to ramble at that point. The bottom line is, if you pull a dog's tail, maybe that dog doesn't bite. Maybe it just likes that. Whatever it is. But you pull the wrong dog, the tail on the wrong dog, and you already know what's going to happen. I would love to protect and shield my children from any of that stuff. In a perfect world. But there's no such thing. It happens. Unfortunately, it happens. So, I'm going to make this one very short, very sweet. And there's cars drag racing down my street. Cool. Anyhow, I'm gonna make it short and sweet, guys. I don't want to get into it any more than that. Just to know that sometimes when we think we're protecting our relatives, our children, our loved ones, whatever it may be, sometimes we may be doing more harm than we are doing good. You know? I would like to think that I push for more than just walking up and protecting them. I want to know why. I want to know the full details of what's going on, and I'll decide at that point if I'm going to protect them or, hey, this is what's going to happen now. The school's going to, you're going to lose that privilege at school, and guess what? You're going to lose this privilege at home. It's better now than later. And on that note, guys, sorry this was a short one, but there's not much more to say about it. It's plain simple, cut and dry. Thank you for listening to Two Face Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Segura, signing out.